did you get so good at shred? That's a question that I sometimes get asked. And the thing is that while there's lots of work involved, the process itself is actually fairly simple. And it's something that I see a lot of people not do. So this is how I got good at shred and how you can do that too. Okay, so this video is going to be as follows. I have 4 main points that are the actual process. And I have a few key moments that might be of help to you, things that I've actually practiced, moments that have kind of defined me as a guitar player. So, first off, I set goals. I wanted to become the best guitar player in the world. The problem with that is it's not a specific goal. It doesn't really mean that much because is it electric? Is it acoustic guitar? What genre? But I had basically 3 names. I had Gary Moore, Yngwie Malmsteen and Steve Vai. They do roughly the same thing. And that was my kind of big goal. So that allowed me, because it's a specific goal, to make smaller goals or set smaller goals, which kind of made a ladder for me to climb. So I knew I had to get my bends fixed, vibrato, I had to get my picking, tapping and all that stuff fixed. That was basically the first thing, setting goals. The second one was that I worked every day. And the thing is, I did put in a lot of hours, between 3 and 6, I think, per day. But you can get started with way less. 15 minutes a day, every day, works brilliantly. And when you get into the habit of practicing every day, if it's just 15 minutes, after a couple of weeks, you'll notice that you'll want to spend more time practicing to improve even faster. But I can't overstress this. Regular practice, even short times like 15 minutes, is way better than 3 hours on a Sunday or something like that. As now I've seen the results of this when I've actually tried it on myself, learning left-handed, for instance. I got from 60 beats per minute to 208 in just 30 days with just 15 minutes a day doing one exercise. So work every day. And this is where one of those key moments comes in. Because I had a teacher who didn't really kind of support my goals. He wasn't into that whole shredding thing at all. And he said to me, don't bother with that. You'll never get any gigs playing shred. Fair enough, he was coming from a good place. His intentions were good. That's fine. But I swapped teachers after some time. And my new teacher, he asked me, what do you want to play? And I was instantly sold. He was interested in what I wanted to do. And that was brilliant. But the thing is, at that point, I wasn't working really every day. I was doing what a lot of young kids do when they play an instrument. They kind of practice before they go to their lesson, and it doesn't really work. And we'd been working on vibrato and bends. I think I took lessons from Sasha, that's his name, for a couple of months before I had the summer off. And during the summer holidays, I did nothing, really, basically. And when I came back, he asked me to show him his vibrato. And it was probably something like this. And he wasn't very happy with me. He's a big guy. He can be a bit scary. And I was just, I don't know, 13 or something like that. And he screamed at me. I mean, really screamed at me. What the kind of a countryside vibrato is that? Now, I have to specify here, I'm translating from Finnish. So, countryside has nothing to do with country music. It was because I'd spent time in the countryside and I'd done nothing. So that was the reference. And I got scared and I went home and I practiced my vibrato, and I've had it sorted ever since. But that kind of set in motion that I worked every day. And here we get to point number 3. One of the things Sasha said I should do was this. That that exercise and variations on that exercise. The thing I did was that I monitored my progress. How did I do that? I used a metronome. So when I could do 100, the next step was to do 102 or whatever. And I still use that method today. And why is this so good? It's because for me, it gives added motivation when I see that I've actually made progress. And that, when I do 15 minutes a day these days, because I have kids and all that, makes me want to do more than just the 15 minutes when I notice I've gotten some progress, but I want to progress a bit faster still. And it's brilliant, monitoring your progress. The problem, of course, is that with many things, most things, it's not about speed. It's also about how clean you play and stuff like that. How do you monitor progress in that sense? Well, there's a very good way, which was not as easy back when I was young and beautiful. Now I'm just you record yourself, film yourself. We didn't have phones back then. We had phones, but they were kind of the old type ones, which were connected with a wire to the wall, and that was it. But everyone has a phone now. You can film yourself, and it's a brilliant way of monitoring your progress. You don't have to do it every day. Do it once a week or something, and you will notice there is progress. Even if you're working on your bends, just monitor your progress. That way you're also critiquing yourself. You know what to correct. Okay, so I had a few key moments as well. I'll save the last point to last. Like I mentioned, my teacher, that's one thing. And I know if you have a teacher who is not very supportive, not everyone can change teachers. But if you have a good teacher, be sure and appreciate that. So, one of the moments that I had was hearing Shapes of Things by Gary Moore, the live version. And especially this lick. And I remember being like, can you play guitar like that? Insane. So I practiced that lick later on. I practiced a few other things. This was one. That was something Sasha gave me, actually. I think it went something like... which was great on many levels. I did this. Those were a few of the things that I did. Then, because I'd heard Rising Force by Yngwie, that was one key moment which also I wanted to play like that. He released his REH instructional video, and I bought that, and I learned a lot of the licks in that video, like this kind of stuff. And something like this. So those were some of the things I was practicing. And one other thing I remember doing was finding the tab for Eruption during one of my summer holidays and spending, I think it was about a month, learning how to tap and learning Eruption, this thing. And so on. And I kept at it. And then I started improvising. I learned Steve Vai songs. I learned For the Love of God, and I've forgotten For the Love of God. I learned all sorts of stuff. But then I started improvising, so I put on a cassette and I just improvised over that, which was a brilliant thing. And I tried to push my boundaries all the time. And that's number 4. Push your boundaries or learn new stuff. Because a lot of people, I certainly noticed this at work as a music teacher in middle school, a lot of people, they just play what they already know. And that's not practice, that's just playing. I have this one student who always, when he gets a guitar, plays. And that's all well and good, but you're not going to progress. So, push your boundaries or learn new stuff. So if you're wanting to learn how to shred, really push that speed boundary. And you can work in, let's say you focus on speed 1 day or 2 days or a period of time, and then you focus on playing it clean, and then you focus on speed and then playing clean. See what I mean? Because they're slightly different things. And when you do that stuff with a metronome, I recommend that you don't use a metronome all the time, because, well, you don't want to be a machine. You want to have your own rhythm, as Paul Gilbert once said, and really push those boundaries. So basically, really simple stuff. If I say 4 and show 5 fingers, that's how much I practiced guitar. I didn't listen during math. I was thinking about guitar. 4 really simple things. Goals, work on a regular basis. And if you have to do shorter times first and then build up to longer, like 3 hours or something, and not everyone has the time to do 3 hours. But if you want to get really good, I suggest you do 3 hours or more at some point. Monitor your progress and learn new stuff or push your boundaries. And that's it. That's how I got good at shred. Pretty simple, actually. If you want to know more about that 15-minute guitar workout thing, there's a video here. Other than that, a huge thank you to the people over on Patreon who support this channel. If you want to check that out, there's a link in the description. You get access to my music, my whole guitar academy, and a bunch of exclusives. And you can even take this stuff for free. Other than that, this is Elmo, this guy. Take care. See you. Bye.